Hi everybody, Joshua here with the Heavypiano YouTube channel. Let's talk about how to play Elliott Smith's Oh Well, Okay. So right at the top, we have a G minor 7. You could voice it doubling the root, the G, in your right hand if you want. You can also voice it more kind of like a shell jazz voicing. Have that 7th in there. We're going to go to, you could think of it as a E diminished or a C9 over E. Basically, the important thing is we're changing our root note from G to E as a transition to that E flat major 7 chord. Then our next chord would be B flat and then B flat over A, and we'll do that all again. So there's a lot of moving bass root notes. So first chord, G minor 7. There's that E flat, B flat. Let's do it again. So now we have our next section of chords. It's going to be G7, going to C minor. Again, we're going to walk the bass down, C minor over B, to A flat. Excuse me, E flat, D flat, C minor over B flat, A flat over G, F7 to G7 to F minor 9 or F minor 7. Let me play that slowly, starting with the G7 chord. F minor 7 there. So let me play it adding a little bit more rhythm just with those two chord progressions. I'll start at the top again because we're basically going to do that again with the exception of we'll go into like a little solo section. But let's go back and take a look at those two chord progressions we just talked about. Let me add a little more movement in my playing. I'll try to do it slowly, and if there's something that really I think sticks out, I'll try to mention it. So think about on the piano, you're kind of setting the stage, right? So I really want to let the melody ring out in my right hand and at the same time give a little bit of motion in my left hand. You know, just kind of outline some of those, the fifths or octaves. Yeah. So there I'm even moving from the bottom note up along the chord. Adding a little more motion, almost Alberti bass-like in that we're taking the rhythm from the beginning and adding a little more motion into it. Maybe adding some more supporting chord notes within the chord in the right hand melody, but at the same time letting the melody kind of be above everything. So even kind of outlining the chord right with rhythm, give it a pause, pause, and I think in my acoustic version, kind of let it come out, you know, let it draw out a little bit on the F minor chord. Let's go into the second verse. We have these chords again. I'll put them up. You can watch along. this next time we do the oh well okay, we're gonna go to the F minor. We're gonna have this progression: F minor, descending bass, F minor over E flat, F minor over D, or a D diminished, to D flat major 7, A flat over G. We're gonna do that 2 times. So the lyrics are, oh well, okay. And then what I did is I played the melody, the little solo melody up here. Definitely adding a lot more motion in my left hand. And then our melody will be an octave up. This is just the way I played it. So F7, B flat minor, to A flat, to G flat, D flat. It's like a D flat over B natural or C flat technically to B flat minor. B flat minor over A flat. So we just have this descending bass line to G flat. The bass line is still going down, D flat over F to E flat 7. We're just going to do F7 to E flat minor back and forth 3 times, and that'll be the end. E flat minor 7 if you want to think of it that way. Right, so just back and forth between that F7 to E flat minor 7. And I played around with that a little bit in the acoustic version, just really drawing it out, kind of improvising around those 2 chords and growing it. Rather than cutting through and talking, let me go from the solo section with the F minor, and I'll go into it slowly, the last section. Sorry. The voicing there is it's kind of like a B flat minor over E flat minor 7. You get that kind of sound. Try some that's kind of cool. That's like an F minor over E flat minor. Let me see, what are some other things we could try there? So like a suspended kind of sound, put that F in there. I am doubling some notes. Yeah, that's really kind of airy. Let's see, E flat, F, A flat, D flat. So, one of the things I like to do, oh, so that doesn't work because it's got that G natural in there, which clashes too much. But yeah, there's some cool stuff there. That's nice. Depending on how you want to end it, right? So we're going F7 to E flat minor 9 or E flat minor 7, which is a very final chord. This is kind of wants to lead you somewhere, and this is a final chord, right? It's kind of like a sad finality of the song. So you can experiment. I like to. Like change the tone of it a little bit. If the chord sounds like this here, what does it sound like here or here? Or take this one and take an octave up, or even play the minor third on the top or the fifth. There's all these different kind of sounds that we can evoke out of the piano. Just experimenting a little bit. Like if I make it really crushed in there, like all those notes together clustered, right? And it depends on how spicy you want to get it. Yeah, man, it's a little bit too much, but we could take that A natural, which doesn't work here. Yeah, that's way too sorry, I'm goofing around here. That's way too spicy. But this is one of the things I do. I try to just try different things to come up with the sound I like, and then maybe even hanging how many notes can I hang over from the previous chord into the next chord. Right, so there, the F7, I can voice it like that, and then going to the E flat minor, I just change one note, and then my F becomes the 9 of the next chord. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for somebody. That's how I think about this music. I sit down and try to learn it by ear, or maybe I cheat a little bit and get some of the chords online to get a place to start from, but then ultimately I sit down and listen through it, because a lot of times the chords you find online are not very accurate, and you may think my chords aren't accurate, so I would love to know if I got something really wrong. Yeah, take a listen. There should be a synthesia version, like a MIDI version on the channel, and then there should be an acoustic version on an old Chickering that I've been working on for a church. Yeah, which I thought kind of gave it a certain feeling. If I can ever get my piano tuned, I will do a version on my Petra upright as well, and that will, every piano has a little bit different voice, and which also influences the way I play and the way, some of the style that comes out of the instrument. So thank you to everybody for following along and hanging out. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for sticking around. I know, I've been going through all these, did a big move, and I haven't had my studio. I'm not in my studio right now. I'm kind of in this temporary basement studio I have set up, which is why I haven't been doing tutorials, because it's really hard to get the mic and everything set up in this space. But yeah, I really appreciate kind comments, or even critical comments, whatever. If you're big enough to get critical comments online, I guess it means you're doing something right? Yeah, so, because that means your content is being shown to people that normally wouldn't watch it, right? So it's not just fans, it's everybody. That's kind of a cool thing. But I hope you're doing well. Again, thank you to everybody for watching, and big thank you to my patrons on Patreon for requesting songs like this one and for supporting me. So yeah, I will catch you next time.